I'm making this video just to give a quick overview of how to navigate our day on Canvas for the 21-22 school year. So every day, and really for every part of the day, your student's going to want to start out in the homeroom. So you'll notice on our homeroom there's buttons to get them to everything. Also my contact information is down here below. But these buttons will take them everywhere they need to go, and I've included times to show when their live sessions should be or if there's no live session. So we start out at the morning meeting. You can see it says live session, 8 o'clock to 8:15. So before 8 o'clock, ideally, you're going to want to click that link. Right now, your student can't join anything because I haven't started a meeting. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second if a meeting has been started. But you can see I have these meetings set up for the rest of the week. And typically there would be a join button over here if I've started that meeting and it is live. Additionally, if you want to see a recorded meeting, if a meeting is recorded, it'll have this little arrow beside it, and you can watch the presentation of that meeting as it was recorded. Now, after your students had the morning meeting, that's typically where I go over our schedule for the day and remind them what they need to do, especially if they're going to leave me for any kind of independent work time. So far, we've not started DI groups. Those will be small groups based off your students' reading ability, and those will start after Labor Day. So we're still collecting data, taking tests so that I can figure out how to group them best to support them in reading. Shared reading starts out as an independent time. So whenever shared reading happens, 9 to 9:45, the student is completing work independently by reading a chapter book and completing some activities so that we can talk about it in our next live lesson. When students go to shared reading, it takes them to the module for the week. You can see the date at the top. And then they can find the day. Today's Tuesday, so this is the assignment that they had to complete for today. It has their directions, some vocabulary words, what to focus on, and then a video to read. Your student's going to be receiving these books so that they will have a real copy of each of these books. We just don't have them yet. So right now they're using videos, but you will still have an audio recording or a video recording throughout the year to go along with the chapter as your student reads. And then below is the activity. It has 2 questions that go along with the reading, and to respond, they click the reply button and type their answers to those 2 questions. Once they finish that, they have a short break, and I'll show you where the schedule button is in a moment. But even if they don't look at the schedule, when they finish shared reading, they can know, okay, it should be done by 9:45. Now it's time for my live lesson. So again, they would click this link. And here is the writing conference. So that's the first thing they're going to click. It tells them, click the computer image to join our live meeting. When they click this, it will take them to that same thing that you saw before, where they could join a meeting. Here, I haven't ended the meeting from writing today, so you would see that they could click this join button, and it would take them into a Big Blue Button meeting. They're always going to want to click microphone. This allows them to be able to speak, but they can also mute themselves and hear everything that's happening. If they click listen only, they're not going to be able to speak unless they leave the audio and come back. And this is what it looks like from a student's perspective. We're going to look at this again in just a moment so I can show you what breakout rooms will look like as well. After they have met with me to discuss what they did during shared reading, and then to do their writing lesson, so here's where they were to get to that writing lesson. They're going to click next, and they can go to the writing assignment for the day. Notice I always put the date on the assignment title so that they can easily figure out what they should be doing. So I clicked on yesterday's writing, but for today, here it is. And the writing assignment can look different each time. Sometimes there'll be documents in here, sometimes it'll just be a writing pad. So there's different things that might be in here. So now that we have finished writing, let's say that they had left, they went and did their writing on their own to finish up. Now your student, the next thing, after 10:15 is specials and a break. So for specials, if they don't know where to go, they can go to the specials schedule to check it out. Today was Tuesday of the second week of school. They had music that was independent, meaning there was no live lesson. If it says live, that means they'll be joining a Zoom with their teacher. I've also recently added these buttons at the bottom. So if they go on here and they say, oh, I have Music Independent, they can click the music button and it will take them to that class. Specials is new this year, so it's still something that we're learning how to navigate. The specials teachers are learning how to navigate because they're doing this for 50 different classes. And I'm sure your student is also still trying to figure it out because it's so different from last year. But you'll notice in music specifically, it says asynchronous lessons, click the Quaver icon. So that would be this one. But when they have a live lesson, they'll go to the Zoom button and click. Once they finish specials and have lunch, it will be time for math. So again, they're going to go back to that homeroom. That's the best place for them to land. And it would be 11:50, so it would be time for a live math lesson. Here you can see this module is for this week. So there's the dates. And it was Tuesday. So they're going to want to join the Tuesday math conference. And here I'm going to show you what a breakout room might look like. So let me start my meeting. So right now you can see I haven't started a meeting. If your student ever gets to this point and they don't see a join button, it means that I'm not in the meeting yet. So they may have to refresh the page after I start the meeting. So I will show you what that might look like. So I have now started the meeting as a teacher. I'm going to refresh the page. So since it's not showing up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out, back to my module, and test it again. Okay, so I'm out of it now. I'm going to go back into the conference and try again. All right, and now it's in there. You can see it says in progress. That means the teacher is actively in there. And we're going to join. So now that we've joined the meeting, I am going to make a breakout room. So from the teacher side, I'm going to go ahead and show a breakout room. I just created it. So when I create the breakout room as a teacher, it will pop up on your student's board and give them the option to join the breakout room. If they join it, it will take them into another Big Blue Button meeting. Now, if your student leaves that breakout room, they can get back in there. But the way that they do that is to leave the breakout room and come back. So let me show you that as well. As she's in the breakout room now, to leave it, your student can just exit this tab. So like this is the breakout room tab. She can click exit. And then she's just going to want to rejoin the audio in the main breakout room again. Now let's say maybe your student needs to get back into that breakout room. She left too early. She didn't mean to exit the tab. She just has to, let me close it so you can see. So she'd be in the main breakout room. She clicks breakout rooms and clicks join room, and it'll take her back. Okay. This is a new piece. Students are not going to be familiar with this yet, but I wanted to show parents just in case you had that question. So now, math is over. Let's say that she's completed all her math independent work. Again, we're going to want to go back to our homeroom. After math, we have science or social studies. This changes each week, and I let your student know which one to do. In this case, we're doing social studies, and it says live session 12:55, so that's where we're going to head next. And again, the module has the date on it, Tuesday. This is the assignment. Okay, so there's the conference link to get into that meeting, and there's the assignment for the day. And lastly, after social studies, we have some math small groups, which have not actually started yet. Again, those will happen after testing, sometime after Labor Day. I think it's the week following Labor Day. So we are doing math assignments during this time, but right now they're not small groups. And then wrap up is the last thing. That will take you back to the same set of links as the morning meeting. So that being said, I want to show you the additional links at the bottom, and then that will wrap up our video here. I have these links here. This math resource will take you to a page where students can find different math manipulatives, and I don't have the video posted because the PowerPoint wasn't working there, but and so that will get added to as we go throughout the year. So as I find a manipulative they might need for that lesson, it can get put in there. So just keep an eye out on that one. Your class schedule. So this is the schedule. I actually just changed it. It had a lot of synchronous, asynchronous wording on there, and I just felt that for simplicity for the students, I changed it to a live meeting, meaning they should be on a conference in Big Blue Button, or an independent work time. If your student receives services, they may not have independent work time. During that independent work time, they would probably be in a breakout room with either myself or Ms. Johnson, and we're just there to help them work through that time, those questions, and have a little bit of a small group work time so that they can ask more questions. So that last button was the weekly due dates button, and it will take you to this page. You have access to all of these, so if you press back, you can go to the original week, but we're in week 2 now. And so this will show you the actual things that are to be turned in. So sometimes it'll say none, meaning that there's nothing actually turned in. There are still things to do during those blocks, but these are just the titles of the assignments that should be submitted throughout the day, right? So here's Tuesday, and here are all the assignments to be submitted. Now, I will say here in these first few weeks, as we're still learning how to navigate, some things are not being completed, so take this all with a grain of salt for now, but just know that I will be posting these each week as well as a good tool to help you know if everything is finished. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have questions, if there's something I didn't cover, if you'd like to see another example or a video on something else. I'm happy to do it, and I really appreciate your support at home.